About what?
Potomac Shores Golf Club. It's a new course, and it's the first Jack Nicklaus publicly accessible uh, Jack Nicklaus signature course in Washington, D.C. metro area. And I
Okay,
didn't
so
realize he had other courses out there, but he's got courses all over the world. So you didn't even talk about Rory playing the wrong driver on the cover. He's playing whatever that red driver is. He's got a green one in his bag this week. Scott would probably know all about that because Scott Merchant's joining us, filling in for Les Bailey, who is not with us today. Scott, have you been watching the Ryder Cup, or is that a silly question?
It's a silly question, but yeah, I have, and I wore my Chicago Medina Ryder Cup hat, and it was a jinx when I bought it, and I thought I wear it today to kind of turn the tide, and that didn't work so well, so I may just go home and burn it.
That might help turn the tide for the weekend. Well, Scott, you were with Golf Pipeline. We've got Jason Boslow, as always, from Shop Junior Golf. Jason, are you watching the Ryder Cup at all?
I am. We were actually watching it while eating breakfast this morning.
Hey, we were too. We were doing breakfast from the Americas today, and that's a long story. But the last 4 weeks, we've been doing breakfast from different areas in the world, the different divisions that we have here at Trim Golf. And today we had the Americas, and we were, instead of playing music from the country, we decided to watch the Ryder Cup. So we've been watching all morning, so that's fantastic. So, and our guest of honor today is Michael Billingsley. He is the founder of Golf Life TV. It didn't start as Golf Life. It started, and I didn't even realize this until today, but I'm not even going to think about trying to explain what Golf Life is because he's got a lot of things going on. He himself has a lot of stuff going on. So, Michael, welcome to the Friday Foursome, and take a couple of seconds to introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what you do, and what the history of your company is.
Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, we started a television company back in the early 90s and started with a ski show, actually, up in the Vail Valley. I lived in Vail for many, many years. And a buddy of mine and I decided let's try a golf show. So we started going around and shooting different golf courses. And he was very good on camera, so he would play golf with the host professional. And we kind of came up with a cool format that for many years we did. Dee Rambo was the host back then, and then a gal, he moved on, and a gal who was a head pro up at Cordillera Mountain, which you guys probably know from the famous Kobe Bryant incident. Erica Webster became the host, and we had a really nice thing going for a long time where she would go out and play the golf course with a host professional, and we called it Golf Life, and it was a great format. Along the way, that kind of ran its course, and we got it. Travel sort of was taking a hit, so we looked at other options in golf and had met Dave Brennan over at Golf Tips magazine. And Dave introduced me to a lot of the folks in the golf industry out in, the Gulf Coast, if you will, out in Carlsbad area and what have you. And we started doing a little bit more of mimicking Golf Tips and making it more of a magazine show, more well-rounded. And did that for several years, and then sold the show to Golf Magazine for a while, and renamed it Inside Golf Magazine. All along the way, the show's been a national show for Fox Sports Net. Fox delivers it for us, and it airs on pretty much every major regional sports net across the United States. All of the Fox O&Os that they own, like Fox Southwest, Fox South, as well as a lot of independents like Root Sports, which is here in Denver, where I'm based. Root Sports is the Rocky Mountain region. They also have a Seattle Root Sports and a Pittsburgh Root Sports. So the shows have aired, consistently for 16, 17 years. They reach about 90 million households. We have about 200 and in August I think we had 240 airings across the United States. There's about somewhere in the ballpark range of 600 to 750,000 viewers per episode. So outside of Golf Channel, it's really the leading golf television show in syndication. It's been around a long time, and the Golf Magazine thing kind of ran its course when Time Warner sold off Golf.com to they didn't sell it, but they licensed it off to a different entity, and a lot of the folks we were working with went away, so we kind of moved on and went back to our Golf Life brand, and we worked really hard to keep it a good golf lifestyle magazine, and still that today. So
Well, that is awesome. It sounds like you get a lot of eyeballs on your content. That's for sure. So that kind of leads me to my first question, and then it started with like the news section on your website, and there's just an overwhelming amount of golf news coming out, whether it's something to do with Tiger and his swing or lack thereof, or whether it's something to do with Dustin Johnson and his time off of the PGA Tour. So from specifically the news section that you have on your website, what to you is considered newsworthy, and where does that content come from for the news section? And I guess the grand scheme of things, where does content come from for the show, and kind of where are you getting all of this content from?
Well, I guess because of the magazine format of Golf Life, and prior to that, as I said, Ski TV, I learned a long time ago about the value of evergreen content. And because our show is a monthly, it used to be weekly, and at one point that's about, take a gun and stick it to your head if you want to try to do a weekly show. So, and actually at one point or another we did a golf show and a poker show, believe it or not, called Inside Poker during the height of the poker boom. And we were doing golf and then we were doing poker, and I was going crazy and my wife was getting ready. That's why I live in Denver now, actually, because we were in Bell and it was just too much. So we sort of took accounting of everything and said, let's make this monthly. But what works is evergreen content. And so what we do is we'll go out and we'll shoot golf tips. Golf tips are key. I learned even along the way when we were doing the travel show, we started doing some instructional stuff. We started meeting all of the top instructors in the United States. And along the way, I've built relationships with all the top teachers. So that's a core of Golf Life on TV, as well as Golf Life online is our instruction. We have relationships with, I don't know, hundreds of golf teachers, obviously all the top 100s who we met mostly through the Golf Magazine relationship. And then, like I said before, golf equipment is something that we really have a good relationship with all the manufacturers. So they now, for example, TaylorMade called us the other day and said, hey, we're going to give you a chance to sneak peek the latest thing we got coming out that's going to launch October 15th. Like, obviously, under NDA, can't talk about it, but but the point is that the manufacturers know us, and I go out there, I go see them. They set us up, and sometimes we get together with their engineers. Sometimes we do it on tour. We just did some stuff at the BMW here in Denver, where the truck guys, who we know a lot of those guys for over the years, they'll set us up to talk to a pro related to their to their products. So I guess that's a long answer to your short question, but the general vibe of the show and our content and our news, it comes from two sources. First of all, we are always worried about your game. Golf Life, we believe that golf is a lifestyle like probably very few other sports. You choose where you live, where you vacation. You choose sometimes what you do with your children. All of these things around this great activity that we all love. So we try our best to help you get better, to find places to travel to, and find gear and equipment that can make your game better. And that's really the driver behind everything we try to do. And I give a lot of credit to Travis Harper, who Ricky, I know you know through social media. Travis has really taken just a passionate daily task of keeping us so relevant on Twitter and on of course on Google Plus here and all the other networks. And we've learned over the years what works and what doesn't. We had a huge amount of YouTube viewership through the last decade, and we've learned kind of how that works and where that works and where it doesn't. And Travis and John Cokes, who also has worked with us, both of them have worked endlessly on these things. And so, evergreen content, lifestyle content, and really working hard on keeping it out there in front of everyone.
That's awesome. Well, Jason, I know that you're all about content, except you haven't been lately because you haven't posted much of anything. So I don't even know if you've been able to come up with some questions for today. You've been so busy.
I did come up with some questions, and actually I thought it was interesting because if you, in surfing around on the site, I got to an actiontelevision.com link on the Golf Life site. So one question was, I was curious about what that is. the other part of that question is the first piece of his content is talking about the Air Force One power built driver, which we had as a guest last week. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Hashtag good timing.
What is Action Television? And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Action Television is our company. So actually, our parent, our overarching company is Action Media Incorporated. We do business as Action Television, and we've been Action Television for quite some time. So we, as I said, have done other sports, other lifestyle sports in the past, and we do occasionally produce 1-hour event episodes. Funny, just sidebar, we're doing an event that we just shot last month in Las Vegas, which is a 5-part series that will air on Fox Sports called Ultimate Dodgeball, which Travis loves me when I take him away from golf and make him edit dodgeball for weeks on end. But it's crazy. It's these 5 guys, actually 10 guys playing on a dodgeball court, on a trampoline court in a Sky Zone indoor trampoline center. So that's the kind of stuff that sometimes we do. We've done downhill ski racing. We've done, speed cross, things like that. So that's Action Television. About, I'd say 6 years ago, guys, I decided, I love golf. I love everyone in the game as far as, from PGA Tour or working with manufacturers or golf professionals at courses or top teachers. People are they just act right in our game, and that's, I enjoy that. For the most part, you meet
everybody except Scott.
Yeah.
Or Tiger, but whatever.
Yeah, except for Tiger, yeah. So I enjoy it. I enjoy the game. I enjoy being around it, and so I dedicated more of what we do towards golf, and we sort of focused on golf life and golf life media. And let's be honest, at this point, I'd say 90% of our work is either golf commercials or golf equipment and videos or promotional videos or any kind of work around golf resort features. I do a lot of photography sometimes when we go out. So we do a lot of work in golf in and around golf. So that's our primary focus. I forget your other question. Oh, and the power built driver.
I was asking about it.
Well, one other thing that we do a lot, and I'm sure you guys do too, is the PR people in golf are amazing, awesome people, and we have great relationships with the PR practitioners in golf. And so Mary Beth Lazy has been great. I don't know if you know Mary Beth, but she's been phenomenal. We love her.
Awesome. She's so good, yeah.
Yeah, and she started. And I, for many years, wouldn't get in front of the camera. Even today, I even though it's a webcast, and the guys kept kind of pushing me out front because Travis would get a product. He's like, I got to do this feature on this. I got to do this feature on this. And, we're a small company. We can't be throwing, money at a host every day to come do something on some product or whatever. So I jumped out in front, and Mary Beth was one of the first people to say, hey, you're doing a good job with this. And I said, well, thanks. I'm still self-conscious about it, but I enjoy doing it. I'm passionate about it. So that's one of the products that she's recently sent. And I got to tell you, I don't know what you think about that driver, but it's the face on that thing is hot. She originally sent me a regular shaft, and so I said, hey, Mary Beth, I really don't know if I can give this a full review because every once in a while when I really get on it, that shaft goes and I hit a big old duck hook or whatever. So she sent me a couple stiff shafts, and I actually haven't had a chance to get them out on the course, but I'm excited to because that is a very unique product right there. So.
I've not actually hit it yet, but I'm hoping that I get the chance to. So and because we've talked about them today, I'm going to email Mary whenever we get off here and just let her know that we talked about her, because I don't know if her name's ever come up in a Friday Foursome. So one of these days we're going to get her in a Friday Foursome.
Yeah, one of the things that she did for me that was a game changer is she introduced me to Mura, and they got me set up with some of their passing point irons, and I still am just so thankful for our relationship because those are phenomenal product. Just as an example of what kind of stuff you can do in this industry if you're working with the right people, and Mary Beth's great. So.
Well, another person that's great that I like working with is Scott Merchant, so I'm sure he's done a little bit of research on, even though he gives me a hard time about Tiger and tried to get me convinced that Tiger joined the Ryder Cup team this morning, but I'll still let you ask a few questions.
I was trying to do anything to get you to watch, man. You know, but and now you're talking about cheating on your driver. I don't even know like what you know. So it sounds like, Michael, you guys are a production company, you know, that kind of back ends into the kind of the distribution side. So from a you guys are producing the content, you know, but not distributing. Do you guys see like a relationship with, you know, a Fox Sports more, you know, long term now that Fox is getting into golf in a more serious way to help maybe produce their content that they're going to have for U.S. Open and featurettes and things of that nature? Is that where you kind of see it going to partner with them long term, or maybe back nine now that they're getting on the DirecTV dial? Like, what do you see kind of the distribution strategies for your production?
Well, you know, one of the things that went as you know, one of the things that differentiated us for the years that we've done all of the work we've done was the distribution. That's been our difference in twofold. First of all, early on, back in the 90s, we were unique because we did have the relationship with FSN, and we could get on air, and that's helped me sell, you know, event programs, as I mentioned, and other things. I also worked really hard and really diligently, probably wasted, you know, hundreds and thousands of hours that I shouldn't have, but I did, on online video. And for many, many years, we dominated online video and online search for golf. If you went to Google and typed any kinds of keywords, we would just fill up the Google tab. So that's the two distribution things we focused on a lot over the years. New things as far as Fox, what they're doing, ironically, that's a great question. And I was just talking with them last week about that very thing, about FS1 and possibly bringing Golf Life over to FS1, which is you know, when they first started it, of course I was asking and they were saying, nah, no, we're not interested at all. But now suddenly they are, because they do, and they're going to get very involved in it because they do have all the USGA properties now.
Yeah, and they're coming strong with other ones as well. You know, it just seems like it might be a good opportunity to, I don't know, to dive deep on that Fox relationship and you know, produce a lot of content for them in that regard.
I put that out there actually last week, and that's something that I would like to continue to look into. I mean, I did, you know, not just, I guess maybe you guys are providing me a platform to toot my own horn, and I appreciate that. But you know, it's hard to find somebody that has done all the things we've done as efficiently and cost efficiently as we've done. So I hope they see that. You know, I hope our product speaks for itself. We were one of the first shows on Fox Sports at all to produce in HD and to deliver a nice, high-quality HD show like in 2007, 2008, and it was a fairly rare thing. Obviously now everybody does, but you know, we try to keep up the standards. We try to maintain broadcast standards and do real high quality on a, you know, quite frankly, on a narrow budget. So, you know, as far as back nine goes, I like the back nine concept as far as the idea of having an alternative network. I think I actually was very involved early on in back nine, in the real infancy days, and even before back nine, some of the guys that were trying to do the same thing before the back nine guys sort of started. And it's an uphill battle. It's going to be very challenging for them, and I've always said that. Even getting on DirecTV is just another really, really difficult climb that's ahead of them in the long run, and I wish them well. The TV business is very, very challenging, and to have any kind of penetration or any kind of you know, relevance whatsoever is a challenge. But I think they've got some good ideas. To me, when I originally was talking with Back Nine, golf is golf, in my book. It's pretty straightforward. There's 4 or 5 components of golf. There's travel, there's equipment, there's instruction, and there's tour and, you know, and personality. Those are the primary aspects of golf as it relates to what people want. You open a golf magazine, Golf Digest, Golf Tips magazine, what have you. There's no magic cure there. They've done those things, Golf magazine, you know, for 50 years, 50 plus years, and that's what we want as golfers. So I think that's one of the things I was having a little bit of challenge with Back Nine was okay, I get you want to do everything that's golf but not golf, but I don't really know what that means. And so that's where I've had some challenge, and I think there's been some change there. I talked to Bill and some of the folks over there about that, and we'd love to help out because we're all about golf lifestyle. We are the golf lifestyle television show and have been for almost 20 years. So however we can help and get involved, we're all about it.
Well, I hope those guys are watching because they are the sponsor of the Friday Foursome, so hopefully they're paying attention. And they actually just hired a handful of big names, Shane Bacon included.
Shane,
Shane's a good buddy of mine, and he used to live here in Scottsdale, but now has moved, so he can be on air. But that's a big dream for him, and I'm really excited for him and the future of what the Back Nine has for him because, as he was writing for Yahoo Sports Devil Ball, it was always his content was so good, and it's kind of funny because his blog on the Back Nine is now called A Slice of Bacon, and I think that's awesome that they're playing off of his name. So, but the content is very similar to what he was providing to Yahoo, so it'll be cool to see his transition both from writing and getting in front of the camera. So,
I think the key for them is lifestyle, golf. Making it cool, making it fun, making it younger, and figuring out how to get instruction, which is the main thing, and equipment as it relates to your game, which is the other main thing, and the courses you can play and how to play them as it relates to your game across to younger people. That's what Back Nine can be successful at because we still want content about the game at the end of the day. I don't really want to see, for any long period of time, cocktail waitresses on the golf course for very long. I mean that's cute and everything, but I want to see golf. It is golf, So to the degree that they can continue to figure that out and learn those things, and whether it's through reality or whether it's through magazine like we do, and we do a little bit of reality stuff as well. Whatever genre or formats they find to get that across, I think. Golf Channel is so full; it's the putting network. Let's face it. So there's a window there. There's an opportunity for it.
So when somebody comes and lands on your website, there's just 1,000 different things they can do. They can go watch videos. They can read content. They can just learn all kinds of stuff about golf. So when somebody lands, let's say they stumble upon your website and they're not familiar with golf life, where would you recommend he or she goes to learn the most they can and get the most out of the website?
Well, the website is an interesting evolution, and we're really working on finalizing that and getting that to. GolfLife.com was not mine for a long time, and it was a tough road. So we were starting stopping with a lot of other names and a lot of other URLs and what have you. So we do have content in a lot of places. I would say to you this, my philosophy for a lot of years, which may or may not be the best idea, but it was mine, was to take your stuff where people wanted to be, like Google Plus or like Facebook or Twitter or what have you. So as opposed to having golflife.com and come see me over here, I'll try to get it to you as many places as I can, whether it's on TV, whether it's at youtube.com golflife. So we own the Golf Life property and the Golf Life brand. We actually have one of the leading iTunes podcasts for many, many years. We have a Hulu channel. We have a lot of different locations. So where people want to find golf, we try to put our stuff out there. But yeah, golflife.com is a great portal, a great place to start. We do put our shows up there. We put our singular videos, individual videos, whether it's a product review or a course feature or what have you up there. And from there, you can get to like our YouTube channel, youtube.com golflife, or youtube.com golftip, which is a really huge channel. There's a lot of viewership on that channel. So those are some of the places you can see our stuff.
As I was surfing around on your site today, I was shocked at how much video you guys had and how many shows you guys actually do. Like going through your channel list, I was like, oh my gosh, the pages just keep scrolling with the different days and times of the different channels that you're on across the country. So, kind of, it seems like you're probably a jack of all trades when it comes to your relationships and your, dealing with partners and things like that. So, what is your favorite part of your job? Like, what is it that you enjoy most about what you do with Golf Life TV?
I used to really enjoy the process and the editing and the putting the show together and everything, and maybe I don't get involved in that as much anymore. Personally, I guess for me, I still love it when I'm out on the cart and I'm out on a great golf course, and I'm like, wow, I'm working, you know, and I'm taking photographs and shooting video, and it's, you know, and I keep it simple, you know. I think that's one of the reasons that the companies, like, you know, I can call Chris McGinley over at Titleist rather, sorry, Chris, apologize, or, you know, some of the guys at TaylorMade or whatever, and they, you know, they'll open the kingdom up to us, and the reason is you know, we come in really lightweight. We come in with, you know, 2 or 3 guys. We know what we're doing. We're really efficient. So the golf courses have learned that, and that's what I enjoy, is that we kind of stealthy that way. We do really high-end, high-quality work, but we don't come in with, you know, 15 people and, you know, a grip truck and the whole thing. I mean, we certainly do that if we're doing a commercial or we need to, but and we do it appropriately. But I think there's a lot that can be done without that, and that's really what I enjoy, is, you know, getting micro. Some of these cameras now are so amazing, you know.
Right.
You know, I have this camera that can shoot 240 frames a second, and we can do things on golf clubs and on golf swings technique that, you know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we would have had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get the same look. And now we can do it almost handheld and get just amazing stuff. It's crazy what we can do. So I enjoy that piece, yeah, a lot.
That's cool. Yeah, the technology definitely helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, going back to my days with the 40-pound coal-powered cameras that we used to pull around, this is yeah, this is a great.
You get the same thing with your iPhone 6 right now, probably, than what you had, you know, originally.
I bought a camera, guys. It's a Sony, and it has a little, you know, and I have 2 lenses for it, and literally, I mean, it's crazy how lightweight it is. And the quality is unbelievable. And then it goes with the other one, and we really work with very lightweight gear, and, you know, we're good with lighting, and we try to pay attention to that too. But I think if you light well and you pay attention to the sound and you do it, you know, and most importantly is tell a story, find out, you know, get people engaged, get people to talk, fill the screen up with people, make it engaging, and make it fast-paced. My biggest compliment for my shows is, wow, that was great. You know, wow, that was a half an hour. You know, I love when somebody watches our show and they don't realize they sat and watched the whole thing, because it moves, you know, and it's quick-paced and it's not dragging, and that's the best compliment we can get.
Well, it's funny you mentioned a half an hour, because this show is a half an hour. We're already 25 minutes into it. So, Jason, I hope that was your last question, because you don't have time for another one. And Scott, this next question is your last question.
No, that's good. I was just gonna, I keep thinking about the business model, and I guess what, the show that he has, and Michael, that you have, or do you look to push the envelope into the next thing in terms of, the show format, or do you have a simplistic recipe that you like to follow, or do you say, hey, we're gonna look to mix it up with, X, Y, Z, and what those new ingredients would be to kind of the recipe?
Well, I'm looking at you guys on the Google thing here, and I'm guessing that you're all you're younger than 40 years old, from what I can tell.
Barely.
Scott, are you?
Barely.
Hold it on.
So you're starting to approach the world where I hit, my 40s, and I'm 47, and I've been around a bit. I have 3 kids. I've coached baseball. Competitive baseball. My daughter's very involved in competitive dance. I have a wedge company that I run with Brad Cochran, which I'd love to talk to you about at another time, which we run out of California, and of course Golf Life, and then the side projects. So I'm in a phase of life where my kids and my time with them, and they go so fast. I have a 15-year-old boy that I'm like, wow, how's that possible? And 11-year-old and a 9-year-old daughter, and so that's really, to be honest with you, maintaining Golf Life and keeping it efficient and effective for everyone. And really the other side of it is, a lot of people in the golf industry, I hate to say this, but it's not just golf, other industries, online has defrayed the focus on the power of TV. I can tell you for sure that what we know from our own product that we own, Black Magic, is that residual, consistent television messaging really works. And especially if you have retail penetration, you really should have consistent television, because you can't do it. Everybody wants to spend money on an online program or an email blast or or TV and say, what's my ROI? Well, I didn't, my MER wasn't a 2.1. I can't do this anymore. It's like, well, guys, come on, believe in your brand, believe in your product, believe in your golf course, believe in whatever it is, and give some consistency behind that. And that's what I hope Golf Life provides. So it's a challenge. I'll be honest with you guys to keep fighting out there for dollars and get people to support things like this because we're funded by our sponsors at the end of the day. So we keep working on that. We keep it simple. I think that I'm excited about things like Back Nine. I hope they can grow. I'm excited about what you brought up with Fox Sports and FS1 and alternative places for golf, not just for my own purposes and my own business, but for golf in general. I think I'd love to see golf be more widespread from a lifestyle, from the love and passion of the game, more than just the competition coverage of the game.
Well, that is awesome. I'm excited about learning more. I mean, as I read your content, and your social footprint is just fantastic, and whoever's managing all of that is doing a great job with one being active, but also being responsive. So if I post something or I ask a question, I mean, it's almost immediate, if not immediate. So, little things like that do help the overall brand, and I like what you said about the consistency behind it, and that's what we try to do here with the Google Plus Golf community is with the Friday Foursome, each week doing it in the same format, and Les can't join us every week, so guys like Scott step in from the bullpen and deliver. But it's nice to be able to have guys like Scott to be able to go to and say, hey, I need you this Friday. Can you help? And that they're willing to and wanting to. So if there's anything that we can ever do for you to help increase your brand and increase your exposure, please let us know, because growing the game of golf is what we're all about. So I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to be here and do this. But you're not going to run away just yet, because the best part about the Back Nine Network being the presenting sponsor of the Friday Foursome is we have a segment that Jason likes. I think Jason likes it more than I do, I think. It's called the Back Nine. And it's 9 rapid-fire questions. And when I say rapid-fire, that usually means let's take 5 minutes to explain our answer for each one, because no one is ever rapid-fire. But 9 rapid-fire questions. Are you ready for the Back Nine?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. What is your favorite golf course?
Oh, God, I'm not that rapid.
That's okay. You don't have to be rapid. I said
Red Sky
rapid.
Ranch.
Have you ever had a hole-in-one?
Yes.
Ooh, that is, most people say no. Very good. Beer or wine?
Beer.
If Tiger hadn't withdrawn himself from the Ryder Cup decision, would Tom have picked him?
Yes.
What is your handicap?
10.5.
Who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
Natalie Gulbis.
That's good. Most people say Lexi because that's easy.
Yeah, I love Natalie.
Speaking of Tiger, will Tiger break Jack's record? And before you answer this, know that I am Tiger's biggest fan, and be very careful with how you answer this.
I do not know, and I don't think he does either. That's
okay. Ooh, that is a good answer.
Very
That was
political.
the most decent, correct answer I think we've heard yet.
Yeah,
Talk about the tightrope line. He played that one well.
Yeah,
Well
no
played.
kidding. That's almost mic drop. What is your favorite PGA Tour major?
You know what? I like the U.S. Open a lot.
Okay. Most people say the Masters, again, because it's easy.
The U.S. Open is, and I think the Players should be a major, by the way. I think it's a great event.
I think that the U.S. Open, the winning score should be like +3. I'd love to see them make the golf course so hard that the scores are close to, if not over par, for the winning score. But that's a totally different conversation. And the final question of your Friday Foursome, what is next for Golf Life TV?
What's next for Golf Life TV is what we're doing online. That's what's next for Golf Life TV, really growing and expanding online and continuing to grow that.
Awesome. Well, Scott, thank you for stepping in from the bullpen. Jason, I know you got a phone call to get to. Michael, thank you so much. I'm glad that you said beer, because you live in pretty much a pseudo-beer capital of America there in Denver. And as Jesus Martinez, now of Top Golf, make more birdies.